Cradle, The Rise of the Chosen, Chapter 27, Part 2. Pieni, Iro, Yeol. These guys won't hurt us. Dion, Eol, Bien Luj. You know, physically, Josh assured. Gini, Nati, Ir, Siir. However, we can't screw this up. Takuma saw the look Gianoa gave Josh, and he was saddened by the brief moment of vulnerability that showed on her face. So he grabbed her hand and gave it a tight squeeze, and then patted her behind. She looked back and gave a slight smirk. It was just the effect he wanted. In front of the glass panel building, they stopped and gathered themselves, and gave no other time for thought, and entered to a foyer with balconies looking down on them, and 3 red vintage sports cars with stallion emblems. A thin man in his late 20s with shaved sides and the top in singus greeted them with a white toothy smile. We endure calmly, Nelson, Pt2. Welcome to the Nelson Auto Collection, the young man said with his arms wide as if presenting the whole building and the cars to his sides. Mish, thank you, Gino started. Gima, Eri, Kali, Nati. We come with good tidings, friend. The young man gave a slight chuckle and put a hand over his stomach. Takuma guessed that the greeter sensed something. It was no worry, they all knew at least some part of the game. Injil, great, the man said. Veg, niti, palbu, jun. We aren't accepting any more cars now, though. Pinish, inu, gaja. Kind sir, we have other business, Gino offered. Janti, su, something with less depreciation. The man and Gino shared a long look, and then he nodded and offered his hand. Hansel Gruta, he introduced himself. Mint Ginoa, just Ginoa, and they shook hands. Kulab, Anti, Maj, Kalmal, Nelson. Mr. Nelson is just up that elevator. Moni, Ili. Follow me, please. He led them through the aisle of what Takuma translated as Ferraris. Their brown leather seats and upholstery was welcoming. Next were a handful of cases of vintage and current wristwatches. Some had digital faces, but the better of them were mechanical faced and accented by diamonds and gold. Next, right up to the elevator were models of vintage cars and old airplanes, and some new military aircraft with national decals and esoteric model numbers and emblems. The elevator doors were mirrored, and they slid open with the faintest of whispers, and the inside of the car was completely mirrored too, even the floor numbers, which Takuma guessed with eyes other than his might be difficult to see. They rolled to the 3rd floor, and the doors opened onto an office with glass walls and a glass ceiling. A man with slick gray hair and a neat gray mustache was seated behind a heavy-looking carved wood desk. He had a sheet of paper in his hand and was reading for just one moment before he looked up. Kenny Nelson, Hantu, Gianoa, D.E.D. Kala. Mr. Nelson, Gianoa here has a great business offer for you, Hansel informed. Alut, miss, you do? He said, giving Takuma's wife a provocative look. Takuma didn't flinch because this was good for her.